Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. But before we begin, if you guys can please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here a lot of the days. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Yeah, and if you are listening on podcast or on audio, make sure you make the jump to YouTube and vice versa. If you're just listening on YouTube, we also have a podcast so you can take us on the go.
You can take us on the go. It's just right in your pocket, in your ear, at all times.
All day, every day. We have enough audio on there. Yeah. It's going to last you a while.
Shout out to Portland, since you're on that topic, shout out to Portland and Vancouver. We had a very, very good listener count there.
Yeah.
Me and you, we're not very frequent. We don't check our numbers very often, especially on the audio side. Yeah, we just assume. We go, hey,
as long as the checks keep cashing, baby. I don't check the numbers. We got guys.
We're literally out here just flipping money out.
We have nerds to do that kind of thing, exactly. Okay? We're big picture guys.
We are. But we did see, and we got a good base out there. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Portland and Vancouver, keep it up, and tell everyone you know. Every single person. Have you heard this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, Mason, this is long awaited, my friend.
Yes, it has been
long awaited.
And I must say, my prediction, not well, not good.
About what?
I said this was going to win 12, 13 Oscars.
I told you, dude.
Nope.
And I laughed in your playback the tape and watched my face because I'm like, what? This guy's...
I know.
I thought you smoked. I thought you hit the crack pipe before you got in here.
Yeah, you know what? Just I wasn't going to go public with the whole crack pipe thing, but since you brought it up. No, look, man, I mean, just everything surrounding this film. Obviously, the first one was nominated, and then you had, Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman, died.
Yeah, but it wasn't nominated for you said 12 Oscars, I believe. What?
Yeah, okay, I might have been shooting a little high there.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, I figured that, no, the world isn't ready for a Marvel nominated film, and I don't think there's been one good enough to be nominated
Well, and I don't think this one warranted one of those either for like a Best Picture or anything.
No, I don't believe so, but a big ask from director Ryan Coogler, who had to continue the story without his lead after spending what I heard was years writing a story with Chadwick Boseman, of course, R.I.P., who died of colon cancer in 2018, without really telling anyone.
No, and we just got one of those too in mixed martial arts where a lot of people didn't know about an illness, and then a big star passes away. That's what happened with Chadwick, and it was very surprising. I remember waking up that day and then just being like, "Wow, Chadwick Boseman passed away. What did he pass away from? A car accident or something?"
Yeah.
No, he was sick.
Held it very, very. Him and Norm Macdonald. Yeah, really did not let anything out of the bag. But even the director didn't know, who had, like I said, had been working on a sequel for quite a while. And Chadwick Boseman, who had signed 5-picture deal with Marvel. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, that guy carried on like nothing was wrong at all. Yeah. I mean, you got to respect the hell out of it.
Well, it's crazy.
That guy was like, I'm beating this, and there's no fucking doubt about it. I'm going to sign a 30-year picture deal.
We think about how many big films he was doing during that time where he was battling this cancer.
Yeah,
this illness.
Of course, probably got a big check up front for signing that 5-year deal. That probably, he thought maybe this could go to my family easily if something does happen. But yeah, so I thought for what they had, I thought they did a pretty good job of still carrying on the story.
Yes.
I thought they took care of the obvious question of, where's the Black Panther now? Right. They didn't write him off as like he went off to space or something, which I was afraid of. Of course,
they didn't Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler is a great director. Yeah, exactly. They did. Yeah,
we'll see you again in every single film at the end, even though we know that's not
He's
really.
He's just back at the barbecue.
Always back at the barbecue.
Slow roasting those ribs.
Those nice little iPad videos of him throwing up his kids, having a good time.
But yeah, so I thought they handled it in a really respectful and, well-written way, Yeah. I mean, it was like a no-brainer, do the simple thing. Don't overcomplicate this.
Well, and one of the first things I absolutely have to bring up was, going into my theater, completely packed, every single seat sold out. I was in the movie parlor, so, but again, that whole theater, I mean, where I go. it was packed. Dude.
Oh yeah.
There were so many
I went
people.
to the GXL and it was also packed.
Yeah. So movie parlor completely packed. This has actually legitimately never happened in a theater before, or at least me in my personal experience. So we got to talk about the opening credit scene when they're doing the Marvel thing.
Love that.
And it was quiet. It was like everyone knew in the theater. I have never had this happen before, but everyone consensually knew that this was a moment of silence.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And
that was great.
I couldn't even hear someone breathe, and it was so funny because that whole thing, and it was like therapeutic and everything, as you know, the Marvel things flipping through, and it's Chadwick Boseman and everything he's done, and it's just quiet with a little wind breeze in the background. And eventually it gets over, and I literally have goosebumps, and it got me so like really excited to watch the film. And then as soon as that was over and there was a first bit of noise, you hear this guy go. He was holding that cough in, dude. Where I couldn't even hear him fidgeting.
I wish you guys saw his
anything.
face because that guy was probably purple. That guy. He probably can't hold his breath for more than 15 seconds.
In any other situation, it would have been so eerie for that room to be that quiet.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect tribute to Chadwick
Yeah, and
Boseman.
I didn't know that was coming or not. I don't think anyone else did, but it was like in the face of like in memory. Instead, they did that, which I thought was fucking really cool.
Yeah,
and I was really excited. Out of every Marvel film that coming out this year or probably the next, I was really excited for this one because I wanted to see how they were going to answer the question, and of course, I really liked the first Black Panther. It's one of the higher tier Marvel
100%.
films where it's like on another level from other Marvel films.
Well, and that's why I may have shot the bar a little high with the Oscar thing, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, that was, don't know.
Not my proudest
Drinking
prediction.
all day, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, man, I thought that was really respectful. I liked, but how they handled it, if you don't know, this will be in spoilers, but they tell it within the first 15 minutes, of course.
Yeah, they do.
But he just dies from a disease, like he died in real life, like a disease that they couldn't cure, but it was more almost poetic because they are the highest technologically advanced. And you got to think maybe it was that flower that he ate, that gave him the powers. But they didn't know. And of course, his sister, Shuri, was destroyed and did not go by his side, which was very... They're going for the tears for sure.
Well, the thing is Shuri was a scientist first. She's very practical in her beliefs, and like, this is what I see, this is what I believe. Doesn't really believe in an afterlife. Dead is dead. She talks about that a lot.
Like, this guy's really,
So you understand where she came from in the beginning of that film, where it was like, I'm not going to be by my brother's side because when he's gone forever.
And she's trying to recreate the flower that there's no more of after he ate it and whatnot. Because what's his name destroyed him? Killmonger. Right.
Yeah.
Burned them all up. So she was trying to recreate the flower because I guess that would be the only thing that would save him, maybe. But she couldn't recreate it. In a very touching moment, she was, in a very, very well done scene, is like she doesn't know he's dead, and then she asks her AI what his heart rate is. And then, what's the mom's name? It's gonna kill me. How do I not? Angela Bassett is She's like the head. She's like maybe the lead in this film besides Shuri, and she kills it. I thought she was the standout.
She was. That's verbatim what I was going to say.
So fucking good.
Yeah, her acting was incredible. The whole film.
She was really good.
And there's something about a mourning mother that she portrayed so well too, while also still having to be a leader of a country and a leader of a people.
Yeah.
While also dealing with the obvious tragedy of her son
and dealing with
dying.
your daughter getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh my God, all my kids are dead. I could see her being nominated for Best Supporting Actress, possibly.
Very possible.
It's a put it, just, take it apart from the Marvel of it all, the superhero, take it apart, just as acting as like a mournful mother and like a queen. It's very well done.
It is.
But man, she Angela Bassett, who's always been amazing in everything too, she fucking kills it, and looking great in this with the white hair as well.
Yes,
just amazing. But she's the queen of Wakanda once T'Challa dies, which is a heavy ass. But we go a year forward, and then the other thing I liked, I'll start about the things I liked. I liked the villain. I mean, I like the culture of the villain, how they look like Mesoamerican, Aztec, and Mayans. I thought was super fucking cool.
Well, one of my favorite aspects of this was in a very strange way, they actually brought a little horror into it. I love the mermaid
deep
scene.
sea parts were very scary, always scary to me. But
and I love the mermaids.
They
all,
used it well,
coming out of the water and doing the hypnotic sing, because that's a
the
fable,
sirens.
that's a myth.
Oh
of,
the sirens, Homer.
Mermaids, So I really enjoyed that quite a bit. Just that aspect of all the guys just jumping off the ship.
That was scary. Just the part where they go underwater was very scary, where the things are swimming by. You know, I got my mermaid fear. They play it up in this. They do. Anything deep sea scares the hell out of me, and it should be. Ocean's a scary gal,
and it's so undiscovered. We have no idea what's down there still.
Just bad shit. I know that. But yeah, I liked Namor. I thought that guy was pretty good. I thought he did a really good job. Just like the whole Aztec part of it was fucking cool, and how their whole world revolved around water. So even their grenades, instead of fire, it was a water. Explosion was fucking awesome. That part where they do the terrorist attack on Wakanda, and they're blowing up different parts of the city with water.
With water, yeah.
It's great. And you can show it in a kid's movie because people don't give a fuck if you're being blown to pieces
with water. Yeah. Interesting.
Because those people were all dying. I mean, 100%. You get shot with a water cannon.
Not only that, but there is this instinctual fear that we have too, where it's predators are in the water, and then when people fall in the water, that they're getting sucked down.
Yeah.
And
drowned, for sure. And they show that when they're trying to go through the city when they're being attacked. They're taking people off buses and drowning them.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's what I thought was so cool about these villains is they felt like straight up if you took Aztecs and into a future city and they just started destroying people.
It's like a mixture between Aztecians and Atlanteans.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, Namor, he is in the comic books the ruler of Atlantis. Of course, someone's got to be in the comic book. But they kept that out because of DC.
But see that. Why?
I don't know.
So two different franchises can't also have Atlantis?
They never. I mean, they're scared people are going to get confused, and people are very easily confused.
That is true. We don't live in the smartest society right now. So,
but they could have gave it. They did end up giving it. They ended up just calling it the city, but they could have because there's some kind of Atlantean-esque story with the Aztecs where they call it something else. They could have called it an Aztec version of Atlantis.
Yeah.
And give it some cool name.
Yeah.
But instead they just call about the city. But the city was cool.
The city was really cool.
Yeah.
Super intricate. It's ceiling and then bottom.
Yeah, because water. Because you're underwater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're playing the little hip game the Mayans played.
The Mayans play, but underwater.
Yeah, which seems way easier. Obviously, because everything's going slow-mo. It's way easier. And I've seen them play that game in real life when I went to Mexico.
Really?
And they are fucking amazing at it.
Oh,
and it's just like that. It's super fucking small. It's all hips. Those hips, baby.
They literally just play with their hips.
Yep. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it is wild. But
why is that not more popular here in the States? I'd watch that live on television. They're shooting shots with their hips. That's impressive.
Because they're not always scoring though.
That is true.
That's the problem. There is a lull in the
yeah. It's like soccer, right? There's only 3 goals a game.
But
if you're lucky.
But yeah, man, I thought that whole thing. I thought the enemies were super cool. I thought all the action scenes were cool, but you were really just waiting for the action scenes in between after the T'Challa stuff. You were just waiting for those actions, and every other part kind of felt boring to me.
Yeah.
That was the sad part to me.
Well, we did talk about Angela Bassett as a standout, but I have to talk about another standout.
Well, she's only in half the film, too.
She is.
Spoiler about that.
This person in a lot more of the film did a phenomenal job, and that is the former welterweight champion of the world, Kamaru Usman.
Who had lines.
Who had dialogue. Did a good job. He did a good job.
How many takes?
You know what? I don't know. I don't think
very
that
natural.
many. It felt natural.
It felt very natural.
And Kamaru, we're not just kissing your ass.
Oh,
First off, you lost your belt. Second off,
I hate athletes that are turned into actors. They usually suck.
So we have no reason to kiss your ass here. But
there is a few on occasion that are good. But yeah, he could easily do a little larger role.
He could transition, yeah.
Maybe another bigger bad guy.
Of course. Let's pump the brakes here. No lead roles for you, Kamaru. You got to work your way in the business.
But I was wondering because they were like really, like the Black Panther was really heavily involved in like the UFC stuff. I was like, I didn't know that he had that.
So I knew about it for a couple of weeks because he was doing promotion and stuff for it.
Way better than what's his name in Fast and Furious, Nagano.
Oh, Francis.
He didn't even talk.
No, and then the parachute in Fast and Furious. Absolutely tremendous. No, but Kamaru, it was so cool to see Kamaru too because he is probably my favorite fighter in the UFC right now. So it was just cool. Like,
he's cool, man. He's fucking big, and he's like he only has lines in one scene, but he's in other scenes too, where they're meeting at one point. You can see him in the background as well. And the dude looks like a Wakandan for sure. He's fucking jacked. Yep. But yeah, dude, totally. Maybe he has a career after the UFC.
I hope so. Because he did a good job in that role.
He is. If you compare him to Ronda Rousey, he might win an Oscar. Like,
it's pretty close.
She's so bad. Oh god, she's bad. But definitely. I'm glad you brought that up because I totally would have forgot about it. But
Oh, you know me, resident MMA guy. Got to bring it up.
Yeah, definitely. He did great. You know who else did great? My man, Winston Duke.
Of course. But when does he not do a good job? That's
I wanted
the thing.
so many more Winston Duke scenes. Kind of gets his ass kicked in this.
That's actually one of the reasons why I was a little disappointed with his film. Going in 2 hours, 41 minutes, I figured he would have had a much more prominent role.
I think in the original, if it ever comes out, I think he was going to end up being the bad guy in the sequel to T'Challa. Yeah. I think of course, they kind of played it in the first one. But I think, and I heard that he was really campaigning to be the bad guy as well. Yeah. So I think maybe he was going to be the lead, and then they had to rewrite it and scale his role back as well. And I'm sure he wants to be the bad guy as well because he probably doesn't want to be connected to a Marvel film. Because he's so much better. He is an Oscar caliber actor.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you haven't seen 9 Days, go and see it. It's
every time he talks, I just think about that film too, man.
I know.
And it takes me back.
So good.
But he's great.
So on that side of Winston Duke, at the end of the film, though, should we talk about that credit scene? Because he shows up to challenge the new Black Panther, which is Shuri. But what did he challenge in?
No, I think he challenged for rule of Wakanda. I think.
Okay.
So Shuri can go off and do whatever she wants because technically, if you're the Black Panther, you have to rule.
Subservient
exactly.
Yeah, the person.
But so I think he's just gonna rule Wakanda, which makes sense for the story. Who else are you gonna have?
Yeah.
There's none of those other side tribes have made any kind of role for themselves in the film. So you have to. He's the only one. So I think he's gonna end up being king, which sucks because I think it kind of handicaps him from any kind of larger role in the future of being like a bad guy or something. Yeah. If he's gonna end up being king. So I think that was all he was showing. Was that he was going to roll. That way Shuri can go and fight with the Avengers and not have to worry about also rolling.
Do you think Shuri's role will expand? Do you think we're going to see another Black Panther film? Like, how do you think this evolves going from here?
I think for sure we'll see her in other stuff. I think it'll be a while before we see another Black Panther film.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
I think this film is going to end up, I'm still going to stand by and say it's still going to end up making $1 billion. It made $330 million its opening weekend. That would be on track to be making $1 billion at some point. It's like the 12th highest grossing film of all time, first weekend.
Well, again, I mean, you said your theaters were packed, mine were packed.
Yes.
So it was.
So I mean, every day. I have to see. I did not love the whole aspect of Shuri becoming the Black Panther. I mean, I don't mind her at all as an actress. She's great, but I didn't like the story, how it got there very much. It just was it's kind of what everyone expected.
Yeah,
Which was like me and you, I think we're thinking outside of the box a little bit.
We were.
Too much.
Well, and that's the thing with Shuri. I don't mind the character. I like the actress. I think she does a really good job. But the compelling side of things for the story arc of Shuri, the character, I don't know if I'm totally on board with her becoming the new Black Panther. There's just nothing there that's really grabbing me with that.
Not one, did she have any combat experience? At the start, I feel like the first one it was very obvious that she was always in a lab and
she was a scientist
and couldn't do anything without her
sister.
technology. Yeah, but now she's a super bad. That's what I think. I think that just made me think that just the writing was a little lacking, where I thought there'd be a little bit more writing to the reason of why she would have taken up the mantle.
Right.
I get that.
And I feel like, I'm not going to lie here, I do feel like sometimes, not always, but sometimes Marvel can get a little lazy with women who are lead roles. And they don't give them enough adversity to go through or trials and tribulations with their character, because we never saw that evolution. We never saw those hard times for Shuri, the same way we never saw it with Captain Marvel either, with Brie Larson, which, again, not her fault. It was more so the dialogue and the writing more than anything else. But we don't see them go through that journey, that hero's journey that we see everyone else go through. And Shuri never went through anything in this film outside of the loss for her brother.
The entire thing was the entire, because she doesn't become Black Panther until the last 30 minutes probably. Right. But the entire thing was her going through the loss of her brother. Was her giant big, that was her Uncle Ben, you know?
Right. I just look on more so the side of, combat skills and stuff. So did she just inherit these skills? Like, we have no idea where they came from. It's just lazy writing.
Well, you got to assume that once you take the drink, it gives you
everything you need.
Yeah, except Namor was a fucking badass, dude. He got his ass kicked, handed to him. Yeah. I mean, they did, of course, try to write for that as, dehydration. He was a fish man. It's the desert, which they didn't take him that far in the desert either.
Really? He wasn't out of water that long.
It wasn't even that great of a plan at all, because they barely got him. And she just happened to swipe his little wings,
his little foot wings. Clipped him.
Yep. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he should have at least tried to go one.
Oh,
at least get in the air.
He submitted a little too soon.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I still, up until like the drink touched her lips, I thought Lupita Nyong'o was gonna take that and be like, nope, maybe she's got all the skills.
Yeah, she does.
But there's an after credit scene. I don't know if you probably did.
No, dude. I don't stay for any after credit.
Either do I. Never do. But I did stay for this one because I knew it was gonna. I thought it was gonna show something crazy. It didn't. It didn't really, but it showed why Lupita Nyong'o could not be the Black Panther. And do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, of course.
She shows that I think, I mean, it has to be this. Honestly, I didn't stay for that much of that.
One of the aliens.
No. It showed that she had a son with T'Challa. Yeah, and she brings him out right at the very end, and he's really? Like he's like young, He's like, and it shows that she's been raising. Because in the story, if in the second one, it shows that she never went back to Wakanda, and was destroyed when what's-his-name was gone or whatever. And she had a whole nother life in, what do they call it? It was Haiti. But they called it something weird. Yeah. But it was Haiti. But yeah, man,
Haiti or something
that's
like
what
that?
happens. Shuri goes to Haiti, and they're like on the beach, and she's like, I wanted to show you something. And Shuri burns her clothes.
Yeah, I did see that scene.
Oh, okay. So so then it cuts the credits.
And then I bounced right away.
Yeah, of course. And then fuck, you stays. You gotta be a monster. But everyone stayed. No one got up.
Yeah. I was the only person to get up in the theater. I kind of felt awkward.
But yeah, she comes out of the little hut house. And it's like, hey, because I got someone you want to meet. Boom.
So
setting up 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you think they move this story forward 20 years and maybe they sit on it for 4 or 5?
No, they couldn't do that with all the plans that they have. No. They couldn't do it with all the plans. No. They would ruin it.
They'll probably use Shuri for a little while until they don't.
I got to say, even maybe he was a little older than what he should have been. It was like 5 years since it wasn't even, I guess, yeah, it was 5 years since the last one. Yeah. But I got to say, he was close to like 9. So,
jeez.
So maybe T'Challa hit it and bounced.
A long time, yeah.
I know. I gotta say, let's see. Mid-credit scene, Shuri visits in Haiti, where she burns her funeral, some of her robes her mother wanted. She grieves. Then she learns that Nakai and T'Challa have a son, Toussaint, who Nakai has been raising in secret from the pressure of the throne. Toussaint reveals his Wakanda name is T'Challa. I didn't even stay for that part.
Wow. Okay.
I saw that she had a son. I was like, that's enough for me. I don't need.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be down the road one day. Who knows? Could be 10 years from now, but that'll be
maybe they're saying he always knew about it. T'Challa, and that she knew that she refused to raise him as like a king or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe he thought that was best for him as well.
Well, yeah, probably. She probably
he
just
was older than 5 for sure.
Yeah. So they might have just kept him in secret because, they didn't want him to be king or whatever.
So you could literally wait 5 years, recast that as like him 15 years, and he can take up the mantle easily. Yeah. He'd be
100%.
Hire an actor that's 20 that can play 15. Obviously, he's going to be fucking huge.
Yeah. He will be.
Big, yeah. It won't be the same kid that they had in this, obviously, because the kid didn't have any lines at all. It was just a no one. But yeah, man, I mean, in 5 years, you could totally have that kid play the next. It would not have to be like a 20-year plan at all. But, Feige, man, he's the king for the reason. Yeah. He's got fucking plans going.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have plans for a new Black Panther, but we just got to figure out what that's going to be and who that's
he's got plans after this Black Panther already.
Yeah.
He wants to set something up so far in the future. That's all these mid-credit scenes are. Hate to break it to you guys. Almost 80% of the time, they lead nowhere. They just setting things up for hopes at some point reason they can call back and be like, hey, look at that.
Yep.
They are shooting for fucking nothing. That kid can never show up again and still be like, it's a cool kid mid-credit scene, right? But yeah, so they're just shooting for anything. But yeah, they're definitely planning ahead.
Yeah, they are.
For sure.
Well, Cash, I mean, overall, I did enjoy this film. I thought it was a little long, 2 hours and 41 minutes. I get it. There was a lot of story here to tell, and there were a lot of, things to get through, but I could have done away with 2 hours and 41 minutes. Don't know if this one completely needed it. I would have went around probably 2 hours, 15 minutes at most, but I liked it overall. I was telling, I forget who it was, but I said, it's pretty middle of the road for me. I would give it like a C+, maybe a B- at best. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely on the better side of a Marvel film still. But it's not nearly as good as the first one, unfortunately. It's because they had so much that they had to take care of, obviously. And that's why the film was so long, was they had so much of it. They really had to do the first 30 minutes just to get on with the rest of the film.
Very true.
But, for what they did, they had to completely rewrite the story around his death. The entire film revolved around his death. Yeah. Obviously, that's going to be...
Well, and that's one of the sombering overtones of this whole film was just sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like we had to deal with Chadwick Boseman's death. We had to deal with T'Challa's death, I should say. And then, Angela Bassett. We had to deal with all these deaths in the film. And it was just like one after another. It's like, can we get a break?
Now, I'll tell you, one thing I did like... one scene I really loved that stood out that I just remembered was the funeral scene at the start where they're all wearing white instead of black. It looks fucking cool when they're going through the parade and everyone's dancing and everything.
Cheering and dancing, yeah.
Super fucking cool to show like a new way of like how they do. I don't know.
I think that's a better way to do a funeral.
Hell yeah.
Dancing.
Black doesn't look good either. It doesn't look good on camera, so it doesn't. Having everyone wear stark white was fucking super cool.
It was a bad day to wear black, I guess.
Yeah.
I literally wore all black.
But yeah, I mean, they looked amazing in white, and it was a really cool scene. But yeah, again, it was a little disappointing for me. I'd probably give it right around a C for me.
I agree.
I'll be excited about the next one to see where they'll go as well. Yeah. But yeah, man, I can't say that there wasn't something missing with Chadwick Boseman being there.
Yeah. I agree.
He was the Black Panther in my mind. That's just one of those casting where I thought Tony Stark was perfectly cast with Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was perfectly cast, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. So there's always going to be a hole there.
Yeah.
It's sad, but
it is.
Yeah, we push on.
We do, as we always do, until we're gone.
We're the ground.
All right.
Hopefully we were talking about us in such great light as we talk about you. I can't imagine.
No, probably not.
I can't imagine at all.
I'm sure he's probably held in higher regard than us. All right, everyone. That is our review for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. If you like what you've seen here and you're listening, YouTube, Spotify, all those kind of places, guys, smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so we drop videos here every single week. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Bye.